All right, everyone, we're going to talk about everything that you can do in a real estate transaction to make it go as smoothly as possible. Now, listen, there's a lot of problems that crop up that you can't do anything about. That's why you have an agent. That's why you have an attorney and such to sort these problems out for you. But all the things we're going to talk about are things that you can deal with, again, to make this transaction as smoothly as possible. So I'm going to split this video in two parts. This video is going to talk about when the gleam buying a house enters your brain to when you have an accepted contract and you are under contract and you have just started the journey to buying your house. The next video is going to be from when you're under contract, the contract is accepted, to when you're at the closing table and you've signed and you've collected your keys. All right, here we go. There's a lot to cover. I'm excited. Okay, the first thing that you need to do right when you start even fantasizing about buying a home, you need to make a list. You need to find out what you want for many reasons. If you start looking for a home that you don't want, there's two things that I feel that can happen that always disrupt or actually destroy the home buying process for a lot of buyers out there is this. You can end up wasting a lot of time. Okay, if you have all the time in the world, don't worry about this. But the majority of the buyers I work for, they've got jobs. Their partners have jobs, and even some of their kids have jobs. If they have kids, they have school events and school and all the stuff that school brings that is a lot in this day and age. They have pets, they have doctor bills, they have vet bills, they have appointments, they have holidays, they have family events. I mean, it's just no one has enough time right now to deal with life. And trust me, the older you get, the less time you have. So I find that when people start searching for houses that don't know what they want, they'll start seeing 10, 15, 20 houses. They'll take these weekends off. They'll put everything on hold and they start searching for a month or 2 months. And when they're starting to realize what it is they're looking for, they're like, oh God, I don't have time for this. This is too much. And then they just pack it in. Worse yet, I find the worst thing that can happen is you might find you're looking for a completely different home than your partner. I was at an open house one time and I was taking a buyer there, and my goodness, a knockdown, drag out fight happened. It was a couple, and from what I gleaned, one of them loved the house and the other one didn't like the house, hated it actually. And they couldn't understand why this one loved the house and this one couldn't understand why this one hated the house, and they got into a fight. They were looking at so many houses and they just realized that they are so incompatible with what it is they want in a house, and it blew up. I'm not saying this is going to happen to you, but whoo, that was an eye-opener. I do take buyers out and they're like, wait, you want this? Wait. And what it can do is again, it can make you go, listen, we're not ready. We're not ready for a house. Don't start looking for houses yet. Write a list of what you want. Have your partner write a list. Talk to your parents and in-laws. Have them weigh in. Have your kids weigh in a little bit and write one or two things. Talk to your pets. I'm sure your dog would love to be near a dog park. But write a list and then compare them and see where the conflicts are. See where the issues are. And before you start wasting time and putting all this time and effort into finding a house, you can have these discussions. You can make these compromises. And it may take a day. It may take a week. It may take a month. It may take a year. But at the end of that, you will find this list, this house. You know exactly the house that you and your family want to move to. And trust me, when you know this, it's so much easier. It saves so much time. Next thing is, and I can't believe I'm saying this, I've just made you put together your dream house, and now I'm taking it away and saying, you're not going to get all that. I would say most buyers that are looking for houses, you're not going to get everything you want on that list. And again, the problem is this, you're going to see a bunch of houses. You're going to see a house, you're going to go, oh, it's got this and this and this, but it doesn't got that. And you're going to see this house and it's like, oh, it's got this, this, and this, but it's not that. And that. And then you keep going through this endless circle. And what's going to happen is this, in a week, 2 weeks, a month later, you're going to go, oh, you know what? I really don't need that and that. That house we saw last week, let's put an offer in on that. And more than likely that house is gone. Okay. So again, this is going to save you time. Have a discussion again and come up with 5 deal breakers, must-haves. And then the rest would be nice to have. And try your best to just do 5 must-haves. okay? That way, when you go and see properties, you're honing in on those 5 things. The realization that you're not going to get everything you want happens sooner rather than later. You'll get your offer in sooner rather than later, and you're saving time. You're saving time in this massive process of buying a home, okay? And trust me, you'll have 5 must-haves. You're going to get a lot of your list of I want to haves. You're going to get a lot of that. It's just going to be 1 or 2 things on your list that you don't really need. It's just going to hone you in so you can get your house quicker. All right, next thing, agent. Got to get an agent, okay? I know I sound like a broken record with this, but this agent is representing you and your advocate on the biggest purchase of your life. They're there to guide you through the toughest of times with you, agent. They're your advocate. They're your champion. And so if you just randomly find one online, you don't know how good or bad they are. If you just go to the listing and talk to the listing agent, you don't know who they are, how good they are. Vet them. Look at reviews. Talk to your family. Talk to your friends. Find your agent that's going to represent you, that you trust. It's going to make everything so much easier. Stop searching online and get on the agent's MLS. Online real estate websites are awesome. So much information, and they do such good for our business. But when you're actively, seriously looking for a house, it can be a little problematic because of this. I know so many buyers, when I first meet them, they're like, oh, I'm so frustrated. Everything I see on this.com or that.com, we call and it's gone. It's gone. Everything is gone, but it says it's active. You don't have to update. And what you need to know is this. All these sites, they're referral sites. For as good as they are and as great as they are, they make a lot of their money by you calling in an agent, connecting with you, and whether that property you're looking at's gone or not, if that agent ends up representing you, they make money from that. They're referral sites. But also, when you inquire on these sites, you're going to get all these calls from these agents that want to represent you. And if you want to deal with that, listen, it's a good way to connect with agents, but you still have to have a buyer consultation. See if they're compatible with you. See if they communicate well. See if they have your best interests at heart. Check out all their reviews, okay? Vet them. Vet your agent. Find your agent that's your agent. So when you're on the agent's MLS and when you're searching on the MLS, it makes life so much easier because they have to update immediately. They will only show you stuff that's active. So again, it's just about being efficient. It's about getting there. It's about getting to the property once it's listed as quick as you possibly can. All right, next problem. 3. So this little thing I'd like to talk to buyers about, and this is an issue. It can crop up. Okay, it's a subtle thing. When you're touring houses or when you're going to open houses, and I say that, I'm going to give 2 examples on this. And I know that I'm talking to a small percentage here, because I think the majority of most buyers are really respectful. But I was, I've seen at a house one time and I was representing a new buyer very early in my career. And there was a piece of wallpaper on the wall that was sort of peeling a bit. And he just decided to pull it and rip it off. And I'm like, what do you, like, it's just like, this is not your house. Like, they'll literally like test things like they're kicking the tires of a car. Be respectful. This is not your house. You can do this stuff once you're in inspection, but just be respectful that this is not your house. You've not put an offer in, and you are guests in this house. Another thing is also be respectful with your thoughts. And it's usually a good piece of advice to keep your thoughts to yourself because of this. When you're touring a house or when you're open house, sellers might be there. There might be webcams. But when you're an open house, the agent that's representing the seller's there. Now, if you're very vocal about all the things you hate about the house, and this happens more often than not. I did an open house once, and an agent was just trashing the house that I was doing an open house with. And I remember so clearly, she had this issue with this step leading to the back door, and she was just ranting about it. And I was like, all right, okay, that's what you can do. And so anyway, she left, and we had about 2 or 3 or 4 offers on the house, and they submitted an offer. And I would not be representing my seller properly if I did not express, listen, these guys have real issues. They're very vocal about how much they dislike the house. And they, listen, this agent may have thought she was negotiating so she can negotiate the fight, like saying, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong. But I was like, I don't know how these guys are going to act in inspection or appraisal. Are they going to continue down this path of dissension. I don't know, but you can have issues with the house. You can be vocal about it, but just wait until you're out of the house, out of the ears of the seller and the seller's agent, and then talk to your agent about it. Talk to your family about that. Oh, I did not like that step. No, that wallpaper was peeling. I don't know. Like, again, you can change wallpaper, but it's talk about that when you're out of earshot from them, because it could hurt your offer if they think you're somebody that's just going to be a problem, and you're not going to be a problem. All right, the next thing, I would be remiss in not talking about offers. Offers are very difficult in any market, but this market especially. Low inventory, very competitive, prices very high. No one wants to spend these prices. So I will say this. If you have a great agent, they're going to know how to get your offer accepted. This is one of the main things a really great buyer agent can do. They talk to the listing agent. They talk to you. They get information, and they figure out what it will take to get this house, to buy this house. You may not want to do what the agent finds out, but again, they give you the option. And they go, listen, if you do this, we've got 5 offers. I'm told it's sort of north of this number. I think we buy this if we limit our inspection. They want to move out 3 months instead of 30 days. If we can do that, that's great. I want to talk to them. Like, they'll get the information that you need to get your offer accepted. Again, this is getting the agent that represents you properly. Next thing, I want to talk about a problem that it's always a surprise to a lot of buyers out there. Attorney review. That means you've written an offer, they verbally accepted, you have things signed, whether it's a letter of intent or a contract, it goes to the attorneys. Nothing's binding right now just because it's verbally accepted. Okay, you are not safe. When you're in attorney review, another offer can come in. The sellers can take that offer if they want, okay? So just realize this, just because you're in attorney review doesn't mean you can just sit back and relax. Make sure your attorney is a real estate attorney and they're quick and efficient with the responses, okay? Attorney reviews tend to last around 3 days, 2 to 3 days. You do not want them lasting a week or 2 weeks because an attorney's in court or attorney's taking 2 days to get back to you about your requests or concerns, okay? Needs to be diligent, need to get out of this attorney review because, again, an offer that you beat out may come back 20,000 higher. The sellers look at it. So I just want to say this is a problem that not a lot of people know about. When you're in attorney review, just be quick and efficient with this so you can get under contract. All right, that's it. That is the problems up to when you're thinking about buying a house to your offer has been accepted and you're under contract. You are locked in. No one can take your house from you. Now, next we're going to talk about when you're under contract. Obviously, there's inspection, appraisal, township approvals, clear to closes, final walkthroughs, titles, yada, 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 all that. There's a lot of issues that come up, but there's a lot of things you can do to avoid a lot of problems that can happen on your journey to the closing tables. Please like this video. Please subscribe to my channel. Comment if you have any questions you want to talk about anything else. If you want to buy a house in Northern New Jersey, want to sell a house in Northern New Jersey, I'm here for you. If you want to buy a house or sell a house anywhere else in America, I can still help you. I belong to a very extensive referral program. I can find the perfect agent for you. All right, guys, have a good one. Take it easy.